All right, here's where we begin. Today in Portland, Oregon, legal twists, policy shifts, and community efforts in the face of adversity. I'm Dean Bark. Welcome to the City Report with Dean Bark, reporting from Portland, Oregon. Let's kick things off with a bang. Court blocks National Guard deployment to Portland, orders rehearing. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals has decided to rehear a case concerning the deployment of the Oregon National Guard to our fair city amid ongoing protests. The protests against the ICE facility that have kept our streets bustling. This move vacates a previous ruling that supported the Trump administration's decision to deploy troops. Judge Susan P. Graber, who dissented, noted a lack of factual evidence for such military deployment. In other words, looks like someone forgot the memo on providing facts before deploying troops. Now, Oregon's lawsuit against the Trump administration continues, with local officials opposing what they see as federal overreach. A trial will kick off soon in district court, and those temporary restraining orders? They're still holding firm. This decision really highlights the concerns over federal overreach and the use of military forces in civilian matters. The move to rehear the case suggests there's more beneath the surface of this deployment decision. Let's not overcomplicate this. It's a story worth watching. Let's transition to this. Portland to enforce camping ban amid expiring SNAP benefits for homeless residents. Starting November 1st, the city will resume enforcing local laws on public camping, just as SNAP benefits are set to expire for many residents. Timing is everything, isn't it? Mayor Keith Wilson has an ambitious plan to end unsheltered homelessness by December 1st by referring violators to shelters or programs. However, with only about 3,700 shelter beds available, critics argue this policy exploits the loss of SNAP benefits and fails to address the root causes of homelessness. Enforcement includes potential fines or jail time for those who refuse reasonable alternate shelter offers. Community advocates are up in arms, criticizing the approach for prioritizing temporary solutions over permanent housing. Timing this with SNAP benefit expirations feels like adding insult to injury. Shifting gears. Portland Mayor sidelines Housing Bureau Director amid focus on shelters. Mayor Wilson has placed Housing Bureau Director Helmi Hisarich on leave, appointing Michael Buonocore as interim director. Now Hisarich, known for her long-term housing solutions, is out, and we're left wondering why. Mayor Wilson is focusing on temporary shelters to address homelessness. But city councilors are concerned about the setback this may cause to housing legislation efforts. Removing a long-term housing expert while focusing on temporary fixes seems short-sighted, if you ask me. All right, next topic. Fire fundraiser for Portland councilor raises ethical concerns over donations. An online fundraiser for City Councilor Candace Avalos brought in over $14,000 after a fire destroyed her home and vehicle. Talk about a community rallying to support one of their own. However, state ethics rules limit gifts to elected officials to $50 from donors with a legislative interest. Avalos now faces the challenge of ensuring compliance with these rules, possibly having to return some donations. While the intent is noble, navigating ethics rules can turn community support into a bureaucratic headache. And now for something completely different. Portland rallies to feed residents amid SNAP delays and funding cuts. Oregonians reliant on SNAP are facing delays in November due to the federal government's shutdown since October 1st. 2 federal judges have directed the Trump administration to fund the program, but implementation remains unclear. Meanwhile, Portland restaurants, cafes, farmers markets, and food banks are stepping up to provide for those affected by the SNAP delays and cuts. Places like Blanchet House and Delicious Donuts are offering free meals, and the Portland Farmers Market is giving 20 double-up food bucks even with zero balance on EBT cards. The community's response to support its own during the SNAP delay is as heartening as it is necessary. And that's your report for today from the City Report with Dean Bark, Portland. Keep your spirits up and join us again tomorrow.